All right, so we're doing a little video here just from the worksheet for today, similar polygons. We did a little speed lesson today, so we just wanted to go through and make sure we're all on the same page here. So remember, two figures are similar if and only if we know two things. Number one, their corresponding angles are congruent, okay? And the side lengths, right, the sides are proportional, which means we should be able to create an extended proportion here, okay? And all these should be equal to something. They should be equal to each other. Okay, now look at the name of the shape. Yes, it's A, B, C, D, G, H, I, J. These order of the letters are telling you what angles are congruent. So the first two letters, A and G, are equal, B and H. And then if you match up the first two letters of A, B, G, H, those are going to be, the fraction for that side is the same as the second letters, B, C, H, I, okay? And then you can use the letters to help you get the congruent angles and the corresponding side lengths. All right, so that's what you're looking for when you do similar. So remember, an extended proportion, okay, two or more ratios that are equal, all right, and they're all equal to something, and that something they're equal to is called a scale factor. Remember, there's two scale factors. One of them, if one of them is 5/2, the other one is 2/5. And one of them is going to take you from the big triangle to the small triangle, and the other one's going to go vice versa. So like if I want to go from the small to the big, I'm going to have to multiply those by 5/2. And if I want to go from the big to the small, it's going to be 2/5. So there's a multiplication cycle that goes from one to the other. So just pay attention if it's supposed to be like ABC 2, XYZ, then you know like the ratio of this to this is this number over that number, and that's how you can get it. Pairs of corresponding angles. Remember, we just said like pick the ones like N and R, M and S, T and P. What are the corresponding sides? Pick a figure. Pick the small sides first. So I can do like PM over, and then down here is TS, and then like the longest side here would be PN, longest side TR, and that's equal to, and then we have the other ones. So that's MN, okay, over RS, and we're being consistent. So if we're doing this, notice that we have the small triangle on the top and then the bigger triangle on the bottom. We're always consistent in what pairs go with what. All right. How do we identify whether or not two shapes are similar? So the first step is we're going to check our angles. Okay. So number one are the corresponding angles congruent. All right. Is the answer yes? Great, the two shapes are similar. No, they're not similar. Okay, not similar. And if you don't know, then you got to go check the sides. Okay, number two, are the sides proportional? So when you make your extended proportions, are the proportions equal? Right? If they're equal, the answer is yes. If they're not equal, the answer is no. So take a look at the first one. Okay, first one right here. I can see all the corresponding angles are equal, so we can say yes. Okay, and then we're just going to say corresponding angles are congruent. Second one, I can't tell from the angles because I'm missing two of them, so I'm going to do a proportion. So I can do, for example, 3/3, those two sides corresponding. 6/9. You can do 2.5 or 2.5, 6/4, and we can see that these are not equal, right? 1 is not equal to 2/3, so we would say no, and then we would just say sides are not proportional. Okay, same thing here. The answer is no, because not all the corresponding angles aren't equal. So determine whether triangles are similar. Just draw yourself the picture. Equilateral triangle. Here's the equilateral triangle, right? The side lengths are all 6. And I have another equilateral triangle with side lengths of 15. There's two ways to do this. Number one, you can do your extended proportion. You're going to get 6/15 the whole time, or 15/6. Or we'll know that all the angles are all 60 degrees, so all the angles are equal. So the answer here is nice and easy. It's yes. Same thing with the square. And then the other triangle. Just draw the shape, check the angles. If there's no angles marked, check the sides, make sure they're proportional. Okay? Then you should be good to go. Number 3 down below. All right, we know that these two shapes are similar to start with. So we know the angles are equal, and we know the sides are proportional. If I'm looking for missing sides, I need to create a proportion. Choose two sides that are corresponding that you know the values of, 9 and 6. And then I'm going to create a proportion using one of the other two variables. So if I want to do 9 over 6, that's fine. Okay. Now I'm going to take a look at the y. Y and the 5 are corresponding. So I'm going to make a proportion here. So it's going to be, if I chose 9, which is the big, I have to use 5 over y. And then we just cross multiply and solve. This is a decimal, by the way, so just be aware. Okay. So 30 equals 9y. We divide out, and I should get 3 in the third, 3.3 repeating. That's y. And then I'm going to do the same thing for x. Okay. We're skipping number 4. Number 5. Just remember, in this diagram, this tree is representing this right triangle right here. Okay. And this person, Tanya, or like Mr. Z with a wig, right, is standing here. Also have a right triangle. This angle is being shared, so these two triangles are similar. So how this lays out is, she is standing 7 meters from the tree. So that distance right there is 7 meters. And she cast a shadow of 1.8 meters. So this 1.8 is the distance from here to here. That's 1.8. All right. I know that she is 1.3 meters. That's her height. I want to know how tall the tree is. So if these two triangles are similar because their angles are equal, then we can just create a proportion with the sides itself. Okay? And that's the concept of the rest of these questions. So find the corresponding congruent angles. Remember, if this is 89, that means that the corresponding angle here is 89. And then you should be able to find the other ones. And when you're looking for the missing side DE, just put an X here, you can create corresponding sides we know, you can create a proportion with the other ones, and then you can cross multiply and solve. And you should be able to do the last one here. This one you know how to do. This one down here we talked about in class, but just remember, if they're similar already, do the proportion. So 17 over 25.5 equals, and I'll leave you to fill this in and finish. All right, guys, see you tomorrow.